Good day. Now I will discuss instructional planning models for mother tongue instruction. At the end of the lesson, students are expected to familiarize yourself with instructional planning models for the teaching of mother tongue, examine instructional planning models for their merits and applicability to one's teaching and learning context, and observe mother tongue classes to determine and examine teaching employed by teachers' colleagues. In the year 2010, Malon indicates that in order for learners to become successful learners, they must be able to listen and read with understanding. So we must read and listen with understanding so that we cannot misinterpret for someone talking about. And second one is speak and write to communicate thoughts, ideas, needs, and experiences. So when we communicate our thoughts, according to our thoughts, ideas, and needs and experiences, we need to speak and write that so that we can solve everything we need to speak and write. Then the third one is read letters, words, and sentences correctly. So the sentences, we must read it by letters, by words, so that we can read it correctly. The last one is speak and write correctly. So in every write or in every speaking or in every writing, we must correctly speak or write so that we cannot write the non-belong sentence. And a balanced teaching method that enables learners to develop all four skills can be divided into two. The balanced teaching method, it have two tracks. The one of this is emphasis, accuracy, or correctness, and it focuses on the parts of the language. The second one is emphasis, meaning, and communication, and it focuses on the whole text. And the table below shows the main feature of the essential components in the language education programs. The emphasis, meaning, and communication, look at the table. Emphasis and accuracy or correctness, the side of the table. And the four one is listening, speaking, reading, or writing. And in the listening, the first one is we must listen in order to understand, think critically, and respond creatively. So in the way of listening of someone, we will able make a creative response and recognize and distinguish sounds, recognize parts of words, and follow direction. So in the listening, there are directions so that we can follow it correctly and recognize the sound without misinterpreting of someone emotions or what else. And the second one is speaking. It is speak with understanding in order to communicate thoughts, ideas, needs, and experiences. Speak with understanding is must for every one of us, because by understanding the person what they talk, we can respond it in a correctly way of responses to communicate in a good way, and it is use language correctly or pronunciation and grammar. So in speaking, we should use a language correctly, a pronunciation or the grammar, because so that that sentence is absolutely or definitely correctly for the meaning. The third one is a reading. Read for meaning and understanding. So by reading, we must read it for the meaning or and understand it in our own reading, because it's a big help for us to determine what the sentence means or what the sentence emotions, and decode words by recognize their parts such as letters, syllables, tone, marks, and etc. The records words by recognizing their parts. There are parts in the reading. There are parts. like letters, syllables, tone, or marks that we need to emphasize or to analyze rather. And the last one is writing. It is write creatively in order to communicate thoughts, ideas, needs, and experiences. By writing creatively, it would be good writing in for us to develop our skills and ability of writing in order to communicate our own thoughts, ideas, or needs and experiences, and to fill it with creative writing. And it is accuracy or correctness of this is form letters properly and neatly, spell words accurately, and use grammar correctly. Absolutely, for the writing, we must need a proper way or neat. There are a form, there are a uh, spelling, so that a grammar, so that that sentence couldn't misinterpret of someone because of that grammar or else. And based on my research and on the implementation of the MT teaching, in the year of 2012, the Department of Education, the DepEd, implemented the use of mother tongue-based ed multilingual education in all public schools, specifically in grades 1, 2, and 3. At first, there are 12 languages are selected to use in different regions such as Tagalog, Kampangan, Pangasinan, Ilocos, Bicol, Cebuano, Hiligaynon, Waray, Tausug, Maguindanaon, Maranao, and Chabacano. And the second one is in the year of 2013, 7 more languages are added in the NTB-MLE such as Yanag, Ibatan, Sambal, Aklanun, Kinayraya, Yakan, and Surigaynon rather. And the Philippines is being looked at as an example. The Philippines as an example for the rest of the region for the implementation of MTB-MLE. Oh, it's so amazing that our Philippines is so example of the region for the implementation of MTB-MLE. This brings forth an argument to the complex issue of language policy in education, which offers a challenging environment for implementing a language policy that will serve the whole country. Imagine what the Philippines can do. And the next one is the Labuagan First Language Component Program. The Philippines. Also, this is from the Philippines, the Labuagan. This program is a 15 years experiment in using the local language as a medium of instruction in the school of the Labuagan district in Ifugao province of the Northern Luzon. It is in Ifugao province of Northern Luzon. There is a 15-year experiment in using the local language. Imagine how is amazing the Philippines are. Then the data from former assessment is only available for the last 4 years. 4 years. The program is also small, 3 experimental schools in 3 control schools. The small size of the experimental program reflects the limited population of the area. So, the small slice is it is reflects of the limited population of the area. It is because of the population, not of the anything, but it is for because of limited population of the area. And the next one is the Philippine map showing the widely spoken language in the Philippine household. So imagine the Philippine map showing the widely spoken language in the Philippines. So the Philippines show the the Philippines widely spoken language in the Philippine household. Imagine how amazing the Philippines are. And it would seem eminently commonsensical to assert that In the context of a formal educational setting, children are going to be most effectively taught when both children and teachers speak well the language of instruction. That, after all, is the prevailing model in most developed countries, where one generally finds effective educational system producing solid results. This model, however, is not the prevailing model in many developing countries. Rather, it is common to find such as countries committed to the use of some exogenous or colonial language such as English, Spanish, or French as the primary language of education from the earliest years of formal schooling. Very often in such countries, classroom teachers have only possible proficiency in the designated language of instruction, while children speak little or none of this language upon entry into the first year of schooling. A casual observer could be forgiven for asking whether such a model has any chance of success. So, the second language medium. Take note of the second language medium. In this paper, the term of phrase second language medium will be used to refer. It means to educational models in which children receive most or all of their instruction in a language other than their first language or mother tongue. In the literature of bilingual education, this is referred to as submersion, and incorrectly by many as immersion. It is submersion. This refer of submersion. And both proponents and critics of the strategy of providing education via the mother tongue are tempted to talk about or against the use of mother tongue is education, as though these are co-identical with one's ethnic identity and are similarly immutable. So, these words we must put in our mind because it is so very important. In mother tongue instruction model, children easily learn to read in 2 years, even when reading instruction is weak. So, in mother tongue, children will easily get or learn and read in 2 years rather than any language they use. And second one is mother tongue models improve the effectiveness of teachers, though not necessarily their quality. So, in the using the mother tongue models, it is improving the effectiveness of teachers because as I know, teachers and children will be discussed well when their language are both understanding of each of everyone or of each of them other. And the third one is mother tongue models improve three effectiveness of teachers, though not necessarily their quality. And indeed, that's we have done tackle yet. And the impacts of mother tongue models are manifest in a variety of forms, some short-term and some long-term, with the latter not always being easily observed. This is the impact of the mother tongue. The manifest in a variety of forms, some short or some long-term. And that's all about our topic for today. Thank you for listening.